Tina Coleman, come on down. You're the next contestant on Fuck Around and Find Out.
My baby has not eaten in 2 hours. That is why I'm on my way to my second job tonight, because it is my responsibility to make sure that he eats, not the U.S. taxpayers.
Tina's a registered nurse that works at Crenshaw Community Hospital in Crenshaw County, Alabama. To be confused with Greenbow, Alabama. According to this badge, it also looks like she's worked in home health care at some point. As a healthcare professional myself, the majority of my patients have to utilize such programs like Medicare, Medicaid, food assistance, Social Security, and disability. But how disgusting to see how she really feels about her patients. But Tina, I can't wait to see the grand showcase you win at the end of this Fuck Around and Find Out game.
Update! Tina Coleman went from doing fine to the unemployment line because the bitch got fired.
Hello guys, welcome once again to the channel. I hope wherever you're watching, you're having a great time. Now, as the government shutdown effects continue to permeate within American society, there are those who are taking this time to make fun of Americans who have been receiving help from the SNAP program. You know, white Americans in many instances have always said that it is black people who are largely dependent on SNAP or the food stamps. And this is something that has made some black people feel offended because many are working so hard to get what they're getting. But if receiving some help is being demonized, as some white Americans are doing even during these hard economic times, it is really hurting to be a black person. Yet, if you look at the data, you'll realize that it is not even blacks that depend on SNAP in the highest percentage if you look at the proportionality of people who are depending on SNAP. Whites lead by almost 35%. So this really tells you that even if SNAP fails, it is not black people who will suffer more. Those who will suffer more are whites, and therefore they need to have some respect to those who are being given this kind of help, because it is not like these people are not so deserving. American economy is not doing so well. So black people and whites who are not able to get and meet their needs are free to depend on SNAP programs, which was meant to be a hunger management strategy for the American government. And that is something that I think needs to be assessed. I came across a clip here of this white lady. She was working as a nurse, but she was making jokes about SNAP program. And she was kind of mocking those who are using it. Administration of that place where she works, which is the Crenshaw Community Hospital, has given a statement and says that we are aware of the video circulating online and we take this matter seriously. The views expressed in the video do not reflect the values or mission of our organization. So there is that possibility that this lady can be sacked. And she's all over starting to cry and apologizing that she didn't mean what she was doing. So is this a level of dumbness, or it is just a problem that is existing among white people? Take a listen to what people had to say about her reaction. Then I shall come back in the end with my commentary.
I'm stitching this because people need to see what's happening in real time when a nurse publicly mocks people receiving SNAP benefits as if poverty is a personal failure. So this nurse, who identifies as Tina Coleman, an RN at Crenshaw Community Hospital in Laverne, Alabama, thought it was appropriate to belittle people who rely on public assistance, many of whom are the same patients we care for every day. So I'm going to let you see the clip.
My baby has not eaten in 2 hours. That is why I'm on my way to my second job tonight, because it is my responsibility to make sure that he eats, not the U.S. taxpayers. I am responsible for keeping him fed and clothed.
So this is the ugly side of nursing culture we don't talk about enough. The performative, I work 2 jobs pride that disguises contempt for the poor. Nursing isn't about judging who's worthy of help. It's about care, equity, and humanity. And we've seen too many stories of bullying, discrimination, and classism in this field. It is time for accountability. The profession needs to study it, name it, and root it out. Because when you humiliate the vulnerable, you do not represent nursing. You absolutely disgrace it.
I guess social media has either unlocked a whole new level of stupid or unlocked a whole new category of people who just will do crazy things for attention. As an example, you know that nurse, the lady who just a couple of days ago put out a video that sort of went viral about her opinions about people that receive, any sort of government assistance. And ironically showing her face dressed in her work attire as if nobody knows who she is or what she does for a living, or that nobody would just discover this. Maybe she thought that because she didn't put her name in it. It's like, what compels somebody to think you could go on like social media, as big a platform as TikTok, knowing that people go viral, express your horrendous views in the pursuit of attention and agreement, thinking that the words you say have no consequences. And now that you've made this video and you've lost your job, as if that whole thing will not haunt your career for the rest of your professional life. And now the thing that we're so vocal against might be the thing that you are now going to have to do. I mean, I understand karma and stuff, but what compels somebody?
My baby has not eaten in 2 hours. That is why I'm on my way to my second job tonight, because it is my responsibility to make sure that he eats, not the U.S. taxpayers. I am responsible for keeping him fed and clothed.
You know, it always amazes me how much people want to go viral so much that they're willing to risk everything they have to do it. Because you came on the internet and you mocked an entire group of people, like millions of people that need help every single day, putting basic food on their table, feeding their kids, meeting life's most basic necessities, and you're a nurse. Did you know that you have ethics that you are required to live under? And I don't know how it works, you swear an oath or whatever, but there are some ethics that you live under as a nurse. And here they are, Provision 1, the nurse practices with compassion and respect for the inherent dignity, worth, and unique attributes of every person. You literally have ethics as a nurse that you swear to that includes all of this stuff right here. And when you come on the internet and you mock humanity, you are directly breaking this. I wonder if your hospital has something similar in their mission statement. Oh, look at that. They do. The mission of blank hospital to care for our community by improving the health and well-being of the people we serve, regardless of their economic or social status, by providing healthcare, disease prevention, and health education services, regardless of their economic or social status. I don't think your hospital agrees with you. Now, look, your secret's safe with me. I don't go that far. If you're going to come on the internet and mock people who need help, who actually work, in many cases, 2 jobs to be able to feed their kids, you're breaking multiple guidelines here. Just wanted you to know that this is not hard. Anyway, I hope you care for your patients that come through your doors more than what you portray on the internet, because I don't think that your employer would really appreciate this, your internet presence and the way that you handle yourself. I'm just taking a wild guess.
Yes, she was. She was a nurse, honey. They snatched that job just like they're snatching these SNAP benefits. Yes, she was. She was a nurse, honey. You have been demoted. Yes. Praise the Lord. Because that's what happens. Because her ass does not need to be in anyone's practicing nurse, licensed practical nurse, registered nurse, nurse practitioner, honey. She does not need to be in. There's nothing about nursing that needs to be in her title, honey. What she needs to be doing is sitting at home and figuring out how the hell she's gonna be paying for all these damn bills, since she has so much motherfucking mouth that she got on the Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter's internet over here making fun of people because they don't have benefits because this administration is dog trash ass. So yes, honey, you need to be sitting at home. And while you're sitting at home, guarantee you, while I'm going to be sitting at my home, I'm going to still be figuring out where the hell you live at and calling the state boards, honey. And we're going to be revoking that licensure, okay? Because you don't need to be practicing nursing anymore. No, you don't have any empathy at all, honey. You don't even have a soul, honey. And you don't have a job. You don't have benefits. You have nothing, honey. And you're about to not have a damn license. So all that schooling that you did, honey, guess what? You still have to pay back them damn student loans, though. I know that. Honey, you have to pay back them student loans, and guess what? Your ass is never going to be working as a nurse again, as far as my black ass is concerned. we gonna go ahead and take care of that. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great day. Praise the Lord.
My baby has not eaten in 2 hours. That is why I'm on.
Listen up, this isn't just a clip. This is a sledgehammer to the soul of nursing. A grotesque carnival where an RN named Tina Coleman dances on the graves of the poor like it's a TikTok trend. Crenshaw Community Hospital, Laverne, Alabama, let that name burn into your brain. Because here, a so-called healer decided poverty's a punchline, that SNAP benefits are a scarlet letter for failure. She mocks the very people she's paid to care for people who drag themselves to second jobs at midnight because their baby's gone 2 hours without food, who bleed responsibility so their kids don't bleed hunger. And she preens like her 2 jobs make her a saint, while her eyes drip contempt for anyone who can't outwork starvation. This isn't just one bad apple. This is the rot we sweep under the scrubs. The performative pride that turns care into a weapon, that makes nurses judge who's worthy of a meal instead of a hand. We've seen it 1,000 times. Bullying, classism, the slow death of humanity in a field that's supposed to save lives. And let's be clear, when you humiliate the vulnerable, you're not a nurse. You're a disgrace wearing a stethoscope. This isn't just a video. It's a wake-up call. The industry needs to name this rot, dig it out, and burn it to the ground. Because if nursing stops being about equity, it stops being nursing. It becomes just another place where the strong kick the weak, and that's a crime we can't let stand.
Want to give an update to this crazy lady.
My baby has not eaten in 2 hours. That is why I'm on my way to my second job tonight, because it is my responsibility to make sure that he eats, not the U.S. taxpayers. I am responsible for keeping him fed and clothed.
Now, many of you have identified her as a Tina out of Alabama, and that's all I'm going to go with because I can't confirm that in the way that I like to confirm things, but you do with that information however you like. But it actually gets worse. Someone was able to grab this video before she put her account on private.
On today's episode of Black and Jobless.
There you have it. She was exactly who we thought she was.
Okay, listen, white people. Specifically the ones that are bitching about SNAP benefits and what people are buying with their SNAP benefits, all that stuff. If you have a problem with it, I'm hoping you'll listen to me. Probably not, but let's see. I am 53 years old. I have been working consistently for most of my adult life. I was laid off in April. I have been diligently looking for a job since then. I desperately want to work. I am very fortunate in my circumstances. If it wasn't for my mom, for my family, I would probably be homeless, living in my Jeep because I own it. I had unemployment. My unemployment ran out. I applied for food stamps, right? Went through the whole rigmarole. It is not efficient. You can't just easily get it. It's not easy to get, okay? I was denied because I have a little bit of savings. You have to be completely broke to get food stamps, okay? I have been paying, since April, I have been paying over $800 a month for Cobra to still have health insurance. I'm almost out of money, all right? And I was denied food stamps. So cut the bullshit with, oh, people are abusing it and they're getting $1,100. No. I had EBT before because my ex-husband couldn't keep a job. And for the two of us, 2 adults, we got right around like $250 a month for all of our groceries. The biggest percentage of people that have SNAP are white people. Most people that have SNAP have jobs too. You don't care what they get. You don't really care. And if you proclaim to be Christian and have Bible verses in your profile, you're the worst. Because this is not what Jesus would do. And I'm not religious, but if you proclaim to be, you can't pick and choose and then say, force women to have children and then take away any leg up they have after that. School lunch programs where underprivileged kids get free lunches or discounted lunches, that's part of SNAP. So if you have a problem with helping out other people, you're what's wrong with this country. It isn't just about you. All right? I know the people that need to hear it probably won't, but I thought possibly, maybe, if they hear it from a white woman who has always worked and now is trying to work and can't find a job, maybe they'll listen. I doubt it, but they gave it a shot. Okay, bye.
My baby hasn't eaten in 2 hours. I gotta go work my second job to feed my baby because it's my responsibility, not the U.S. taxpayers. My responsibility to make sure that he is fed and clothed. I think my lip filler and Botox done migrated. I'm getting a little bit of the Bell palsy down here. Can't feel nothing. Oh, somebody please help me. I peaked in high school. I was just a mean girl. Now I'm a nurse cleaning up shit. Somebody help me. If people don't like this video, that's okay. I'm just going to delete my account and run away from the consequences of my actions. For those of you saying it looked like I'm wearing underwear on my head, it's not. It's part of my nurse's uniform, okay? I don't know why I decided to post a video like this being insensitive when I'm a nurse, but I'm a stupid bitch. That's why. You could tell I'm crazy by the way I do my eye makeup. What would you do if you got a nurse that doesn't look like me?
If you're one of these people who goes on social media and complains about a poor family using their SNAP benefits to buy themselves a treat like Oreos for their children or Dr. Pepper from time to time to give themselves a little bit of joy, then I want to politely inform you that you are a cunt and can eat it.
This message is for Tina Coleman. Tina Coleman in Alabama.
Baby has not eaten in 2 hours. That is why I'm on my way to my second job tonight, because it is my responsibility to make sure that he eats, not the U.S. taxpayers.
Is that coke jar that you're suffering with? Like from chronic use of coke? Like, I understand that you're a nurse and all right now, and I think that's lovely, and I would never, ever, 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 ever come for your deliverance. But when you go pulling moves like trying to be funny about the SNAP recipients and all of the things, and because you're an RN, you have to work 2 jobs so that your dog can eat every 2 hours, and all of the things, you have bigger things to worry about and bigger fish to fry, like staying on top of your recovery. Thank you.
So Tina Coleman thought it was so funny that, a RN she is, a RN that works at the Crenshaw County Hospital somewhere in Alabama. She thought she made a video thinking it was so funny that she was saying that her kids hadn't ate in the last 2 hours and she got to go to her second job to make sure they eat, blah, 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 blah. And then when she flips the video, you see her picking up her dog, and she's like, yeah, I have to feed him and clothe him. It's nobody's responsibility to feed him and clothe him but mine, not the government, yada, 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 yada. But she was really trying to be funny and saying that, people that are on public assistance need to be working 2 jobs instead of getting public assistance. I think that's what she's saying. No compassion at all, because she compared her dog to children out here that are, in need, might not have milk, food, or what have you. I didn't think it was funny at all. And these past few days, the more videos I see, the sicker I get, because you would think you would see more people that were trying to band together and talk about what we can do to fix this than making fun of people and their situations that they can't help, a lot of them that they're in. You know what I'm saying? Minimum wage is only $7. I make decent pay, and a lot of other people do, but at the blink of an eye, it can be taken from you. And me, I'm still gonna work. So don't think because you are RN and you making decent money that you go to work and something might happen and you lose your job and you might be, subject to make $7 an hour. And then guess what? You're gonna need SNAP benefits as well. So be careful. I'm just saying, before an RN to carry on like this and then compare children to her dog, working 2 jobs for a dog, to clothe a dog and feed a dog who hadn't eaten in the last 2 hours, that was like inhumane. Really. Really.
Freedom of speech and social media is ruining people's lives. They have found that EBT nurse. They said her name is Tina, and they have reported the EBT nurse to her place of employment. And supposedly, they have fired her from her job. And now this lady, who was going on here making fun of people on EBT and doing all this stuff for giggles, now doesn't have a job in this economy. And now we have to sit here and think, if the government don't open up, what is this lady gonna do to get her SNAP benefits? How is she gonna feed that dog?
I need to know if Tina Coleman was fired from her job. If you don't know who Tina Coleman is, she made this super insensitive video about people on SNAP wearing her full nursing outfit, even her name tag. Not too smart, Tina. Your days are numbered at your job. I know where you work. I know where you live. I know your full name. I know more about you than I should know. It's 2025, Tina. There's people who have nothing better to do than investigate what you got going on. So, let me know if she was fired. Love to hear it. Hope she was.
My baby has not eaten in 2 hours. I am responsible for keeping him fed.
Imagine mocking a community of people and then joining them. Nurse Taylor was mocking SNAP benefit recipients. Could be elderly, could be children of people who fell on hard times, or could be someone laid off or terminated. Or it could be someone who was stricken with an illness that you were probably in the room for when they found out. Imagine a SNAP benefit recipient is someone who was just in the room with you, finding out about a diagnosis. And in finding out about the diagnosis, they realize that they're going to have to pay the bill that's going to come from the moment they found out that they are now on hard times. Now here you are on social media mocking them. And as a result of your mocking, you're now unemployed. Terminated. And I say now that you're terminated, it kind of becomes hard to look for a job, because now when you're Googled, now with you being on hard times, would you like to turn to the government that you've been paying into for years, maybe? Do you think that maybe that government that you've been paying into since you entered the workforce should maybe help out? Seeing as how you being employed fed into the government and the economy, which kept the government going, right? They may think maybe, just maybe, they should try to help out a little bit. And in what ways could they help out? Maybe medical care? Maybe food benefits, maybe? I don't understand why y'all don't see how much sense this makes, but this is about Nurse Taylor. Nurse Taylor, welcome to hard times. Unfortunately, your fur baby can't be fed on food stamps. Sorry.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Now, given the current economic situation in the United States, I think we have to appreciate the fact that not many people are able to meet the expenses that they have to spend. Somebody could be having 3 kids and no job. Where else can they get help? It is these SNAP benefits that continue coming in handy to help them address their food needs. And that is really something that I feel sorry for those who have been talked against or even talked to like this, because how on earth do you mock your fellow Americans for just depending on something that is legal? It is not like they are so disadvantaged that they can't have anything going on. But looking at the economy and how things are working out, it is not good for almost everybody. And those who are employed and are able to get meaningful payment, They are just lucky, and I think they should be thankful for that, instead of coming out and starting to mock others just because they are not in the advantaged position that you find yourself in. Mockery of individuals who rely on SNAP benefits often reflects deeper societal anxieties about poverty, class, and race in the United States. Some white Americans who ridicule SNAP users may be engaging in what sociologists describe as othering, distinguishing themselves from those perceived as dependent or undeserving. In a culture that praises individualism and self-reliance, government assistance is often stigmatized as evidence of personal failure. Mockery serves as a way for some to reaffirm their own social position and moral worth by contrasting it with the supposed irresponsibility or laziness of others. This behavior is less about the program itself and more about enforcing class boundaries in a society deeply uncomfortable with economic inequality. However, this ridicule has been long racialized. Even though the majority of SNAP recipients are white, in political rhetoric, media portrayals, and public imagination, welfare has often been symbolically associated with black Americans. Since the 1960s, conservative narratives epitomized by the myth of the welfare queen have coded poverty and government aid as a black issue, even though poverty cuts across racial lines. These images painted recipients as fraudulent, lazy, and morally corrupt, reinforcing stereotypes about black dependency and irresponsibility. Thus, when some white Americans mock those using SNAP, the ridicule carries implicit racial undertones. It draws on this cultural reservoir of racialized blame that associate poverty not with structural inequality, but with supposed failings of marginalized groups. Such mockery also reflects a form of racial distancing, a psychological mechanism through which some white Americans attempt to separate themselves from stigmatized groups and reaffirm their racial and class identity. Because whiteness in the United States has historically been linked to respectability, industriousness, and independence, reliance on public aid threatens those ideals. Deriding SNAP users becomes a way to reassert whiteness as synonymous with self-sufficiency, even when many white Americans themselves rely on assistance. By laughing at others, they perceive the illusion that white poverty is exceptional or temporary, whereas black poverty is chronic and deserved. This maintains both racial hierarchies and myths about American meritocracy. The media and political discourse have amplified these dynamics. Politicians, especially during debates over welfare reform, have weaponized stereotypes about SNAP recipients to gain support for austerity measures. Television programs, conservative talk shows, and viral internet memes often depict food stamp users, particularly people of color, as wasteful or deceitful, buying luxury items to avoid work. Such depictions encourage viewers to see poverty as a moral failing rather than a consequence of economic inequality, structural racism, or underdevelopment. The humor and mockery directed at SNAP recipients thus become a tool of social control, reinforcing existing hierarchies by demeaning those at the bottom. Ultimately, the ridicule of SNAP users by some white Americans cannot be separated from Americans' intertwined histories of racial capitalism and moralized poverty. Mockery functions as a cultural performance that sustains the racial order. It reassures those who benefit from racial and economic privilege that the system is fair, that the poor are to blame for their condition, and that their own relative comfort is earned. Beneath the jokes lies a deep-seated fear, the fear of proximity to poverty and of losing racial and societal standing. In this way, what might appear as casual humor or political banter is in fact a manifestation of the enduring racial and class anxieties that structure American life. That is the issue and the truth about SNAP benefits in America. Many people, especially whites, tend to think that black people are the ones who use much of what is coming out of SNAP, but that is not the case. Whites depend on SNAP at higher rates compared to black people, and that is the truth. Share your thoughts down in the comment section, and if you're watching us for the first time, remember to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share. Thank you, and let's meet on the next one.